Moroadi Cholota, the former PA of the then Premier of the Free State, Magashule, is back in the country. Cholota was initially a key state witness, now turned accused number 17 in the multi-million rand asbestos roof removal case. She is alleged to have known crucial details of the 255 million rand asbestos removal case. The SAPS is expected to arrest her on arrival. Let's bring you up to speed with the latest on the ground. SABC reporter Khumalo joining us now as Cholota has now touched base in South Africa. A very good evening to you. What are the latest developments? Because this is a long-awaited arrival.
Well, certainly, Paul, it is a culmination of a very lengthy process with the Hawks, with the National Prosecuting Authority and the Interpol as well, where they've worked tirelessly with their colleagues in the US to make sure that Ms. Cholota is brought back here in South Africa. So it was quite a very fast process. She went through the terminal, she was processed, and just a short while ago now, she was whisked away by a motorcade of police vehicles, making sure that everything is going according to plan, especially because this is a very sensitive case. But also during the course of the extradition, in Paul, what was very clear from the South African authorities, they were banking on this extradition treaty between South Africa and the US. It's been standing since 1999. So it's all about fighting crime, especially when it comes to the serious offenses. We know that already some of the very serious charges have been leveled against this particular suspect, and we do understand they should be appearing on Monday in court in Bloemfontein. As you know, that in Bloemfontein, this is where it all really happened when she was a PA at the time to the former Premier of the Free State, Magashule. So it was quite an incredibly fast process. And of course, from the side of the authorities in South Africa, they're quite determined that they have a very strong case, especially because when you go through the papers, the argument that they presented before the US authorities when it comes to the application for the extradition, for example, they said, look, this is quite a very important case in terms of the asbestos corruption scandal in the Free State. An incredibly sad situation, Paul, where it was supposed to be a very seamless process to make sure that they remove the asbestos roofs, especially for the very poor communities in that part of South Africa. Obviously, kickbacks were exchanged and all sorts of corrupt allegations have been made. And we do understand a trial in this particular instance will commence in April 2025. But quite a breakthrough for the South African authorities, really, who are really quite optimistic about this particular case.
Yeah, very much so, because we understand, I know you say that it all happened very quickly, but we do understand that she was under the escort of officers from the SAPS and Interpol on the plane before she landed. I mean, she was expected to have landed already this afternoon, and until she made that land this evening, which of course is placing her as accused number 17 in this case, which we understand, Khaya, that she was meant to be state witness until she had a change of heart. I mean, talk to us a little bit about how that came about up until she was now named 17th accused in this asbestos matter.
Well, most definitely, especially because there's a context here in Paul. She appeared before the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, where really there was quite a very clear and a detailed account of what transpired during the time when she was a PA for Mr. Magashule, but also quite very close information in as far as the financial transactions that were carried out, but also the affidavits, but also the indictment, really. So those are some of the very key documents that, for example, were used by the South African authorities in as far as extradition is concerned. So you're absolutely right. I think there was initially from the outset an understanding that she'll be a star witness for the National Prosecuting Authority, or in fact for the state in this regard. But obviously she went to study in the US, and there was a point where in her apartment in Baltimore in Maryland, where the FBI and the Hawks came to question her, and she spoke about what almost sounds like an intimidation as well, where she spoke about her constitutional rights, almost saying that her constitutional rights were violated. But Mpho, something that was quite significant, just based on the observations just a short while ago. She was very calm, but you could really tell that she was a bit perturbed by the turn of events. She came really just flanked by all these law enforcement agencies, especially because we do understand that SAPS there to assemble a team, but also working alongside the Hawks. As you know, that they've been very instrumental in making sure that they bring all these suspects in as far as the case regarding the asbestos scandal.
Very well. Thank you so much, Khaya. Khumalo, SABC News reporter there, bringing us up to speed.